How to write a research proposal. Writing research proposal is the first and foremost step when you are applying for MS or PhD programs. It is also useful for those who are applying for some local or international grants, right? I know that there are a lot of videos on research proposal, but I am making this video based on my two successful stories. I obtained two research grants. One is RFIS 1. It is from China Research Fund for International Scientists, and this is category 1. For your information, there is also category 2 and there is also category 3. Category 2 is for associate professor and category 3 is for professor first. When you are at a very prestigious position like a meritorious professor, when you are a big scientist, so this third category is for those people, and second category is for associate professors, and this first category is for assistant professor. You see here RFIS. This is very prestigious program. This is for 2-year program. And I also obtained NRPU, like a National Research Program per University. It is from Higher Education Commission, Pakistan. So I obtained these two grants. So on the basis of this, I am making this video, two successful stories. So this video will be a little bit lengthy, but it is very useful. I will explain that what are the contents of research proposal, and I will explain each content in detail, like this here. You see here, and let's see here the Gantt chart, which is very important. The plane, your plane. I will also explain this Gantt chart here. You see here, and this is also applied to a very powerful, prestigious grant in Chile. So I make this Gantt chart for that. So I will also explain this, right? So let's get started. First of all, it does not mean that this research proposal is only for those students who are whose background is physics or chemistry or mathematics. No, it is for everyone. Any research area you wish to work or any method you choose, the research proposal must contain the following points. The first one is what you plan to achieve. For example, you make some plan to achieve something. You see here, this means that you learned something, or you studied something, or you heard something from your professor or from your teacher, or you studied literature and you find gap there, you find problem there, and you now make plan to solve the problem, to achieve something. So that means that you have some plan. This means what you plan to achieve. This is very important, right? And the next question is why you want to do it. This is what is the importance. What is the importance for your country, for your institution, for other country, for the society, or for globally. Why you want to do that? You see here, this is the second very important question. And how you are going to perform it. This means it shows your methodology, right? The methods. So these three things are very important. You must have in your mind. Now, the pro tip, the very important tip is, if you have a very classic idea, this means novelty. Novelty means that if you do something new, or if you add something very great to the already existing knowledge, that is basically called novelty. Something new, something very interesting. So if you have very great idea, novelty, but your written English is weak, so it make no impression on the committee, the selection committee. You see here, this means that you also need to write well. So your communication skill, especially the written communication, is also play very important role, right? Now every research proposal contains these points. Title. It must have a title here. The second step is summary. Sometimes it is people write executive summary here. Executive summary, and sometimes it only write abstract, right? Now introductions. To me, in most of the proposal there is no introduction, but instead of this they just write literature review. You look here, introduction. What you are going to include in introduction? The same thing like literature review here. You see here. So sometimes people immediately start from literature review, and there is no introduction at all. If you want to include, if your professor wish you to include introduction, okay, it's fine. But to me, you just start from literature review, because literature review covers all the things which are already in introduction, right? So literature review is more thoroughly in-depth analysis or survey or review than the introduction, right? So in literature review, we will be talking about the problem statement, which is the key, very very important. The hypothesis, you are providing some solution, some remedy, that is basically hypothesis. You are doing some assumptions, suppositions that if you do that, if you do this, if you do this, we can get some desired results. The hypothesis maybe fail or something. You see here, and then you put some objectives. The specific objectives. It should be in bullet form, like 1, 2, or like dot. You see here. So this objective you choose, you make to solve that problem. You see here, and the scope of the study. This means that you also put some limitation this under your study. That is basically called scope. Mean that what are the boundaries that you have to talk about the weaknesses. Well, it does not mean that you exaggerate something in your proposal, that I will do that, I will do this, I will do this. No, there is a scope, the limitations of everything, right? So now you set some objectives, there is a problem, and you provide some solution, you hypothesis, and now you need methods, the way, the path to achieve the objectives. And when you achieve the objectives, you automatically solve the problem, right? Now the next two, result discussions. This means sometime when you are defending your proposal, so it is at the middle of your study. I don't know. So if you are doing that, so you must have some results. So if you have some results, so include these two. But if you are writing a research proposal before just commencing your study, so automatically you don't have any thing to the result or something to discuss. So you don't need here these two, right? And if you have some idea, some data, you can use these two, right? Now expected results and benefits. This is this part I include, but this is something for higher grants like I achieved. What are the expected results, and this is some kind of objectives, and what is the benefits here, the expected outcomes. But if you can include, so you can include. Now these two are same year-wise plan of work. For example, if you are going for PhD for 3 years, so you have to make plan for 3 years. Like I have make here, I will explain this here. This is I make for 3 years here, and if you look into my PhD work, this also I make for 3 years. Here you see here, I also make for 3 years, right? This is also called flow chart. Sometimes people call flow chart, people call implementation timeline, and sometimes it is called Gantt chart, right? Now, before going into detail of this each topic, let me mention here that your research proposal must convince your supervisor, your potential supervisor, or some agency when you are applying for some local or foreign grant, international grant, that you have the ability and you have a proper plan to complete your project. This means plan. You see here, this does not mean that your proposal is just empty. Moreover, the project must have an outstanding research idea. Novelty, as I explained, novelty must be there, right? Novelty. If there is no novelty, nobody is going to accept your proposal. And you must have an excellent grasp of relevant literature. This means that if you are working on something which is came into existence in 1980, and now you are writing a research proposal at 2023, so you must need to have a control, a command on the whole literature, that what basically happened there, then what happened in 1990, then what happened in 2012, 2014, 15, and what is happening now. What is basically the growth? So you must need to have a strong command on literature, and you must need to know the key issues, because when you are reading literature, so the issues will be there automatically. It comes from literature, and your methodology should be sound, very very clear methodology, right? Now let's get started. Title. The title. Before going to discuss title, let me show you my one grant here. I applied for National Research Program for universities in review. Look, this was my title. In previously it was rejected. I again apply again. improving the stability of perovskite solar cell. This title is very broad here. You see here, this title is looks like very, because stability you can bring into perovskite solar cell by through 1,000 ways. So this is broad and this is not specific title, so it not attract the readers. The reader will ask you that how you are going to stabilize the perovskite solar cell, how you are going to improve. So this is in the, you have again questions here. But if you look into this one I got my RFIs, like the room temperature deposition of titanium and flexible substrate. This is now the specific one here. You see here, so it makes sense here, right? So now the title, basically the title, it should be concise, means short title. Short title works very well. And you know here, look these papers here. The paper short titles attract very well. Perovskite light emitting diodes. This means that in this paper there is everything about LEDs based on perovskite. If you look into this another title, a roadmap for graphene. This means that this paper discusses everything about graphene, and it also gives the way forward, the roadmap, means that what graphene is going to do in the future. So this is very attractive and powerful title here, you see. So the title should be concise here. The short title works very well. It should be descriptive. Descriptive basically means that very clear. This means that it gives some meaning. It gives. Yeah, and it should be informative. You see here, and it should be catchy. Mean it can attract the readers. Now the pro tip is basically, there is no shortcut, as I explained in my every pro tip here, that you need to read a lot of research article related to the field you are working. Let's suppose you read 50 research article. So from there, you just look into the titles. So you will understand that how you are going to choose your title for the proposal. So the best title is not that easy. You must need to read many papers in your field, right? Now let's go to abstract. Abstract is basically the brief summary of the whole proposal, right? In most cases, there is also word limit. The word limit will not exceed 300, or sometimes it is 200. In sometime in research article, there is research paper, there is also limitation on the abstract, right? It should include the following, not limited to this, but these are the key research questions. This means that your whole research proposal should move around this research question. This is the very important thing you are going to solve, right? This is the key thing. The rationale, this is what I say, what motivates you, what is there basically forcing you to do something, mean to work on their particular field or something. The hypothesis, you give some idea, assumptions. That assumption may be tested, maybe fail or success, but this thing also should be included in the abstract. The methods, you see here in the key finding. Let me show you here the it's executive summary here, how I make it. You see here, this is my executive summary here. At the end, you see I also explain the methods. You see here, this scanner microscope, characterization, XPS, etc. This means that I also explain all these things in my abstract, right? So again, that in abstract, basically flow is very important, that creating flow, because without flow nobody is going to read your abstract. So it is very hard job, not easy job to create flow in the abstract. You have to appropriate it from senior persons, right? So the more you read, the better you will be right? So introduction I just skip, because as I explained that introduction and literature is same here. So I will just quick go to literature, right? Now literature review. As I explained that, to me literature review, introduction were same, but literature review give more in-depth overview of the literature. You see here, sometimes you need to only keep introduction, or you need to only keep literature, or sometimes you need to both, right? Keep in mind that you are basically telling a story. So flow is also key here. Without flow, this is not going to work. Flow. You need to make, like you are telling stories to the children, kids, and they are listening very well. So if you do not have any flow here, so nobody is going to take interest in your introductions, right? In your literature review. So this means that I have one student and he told me that, sir, I'm not going to read any literature and I'm doing something from my own. I said, come on, how? You must have to read literature. This means that you are not reinventing something like light bulb or a wheel or whatever, but you are basically adding something to the existing knowledge. Addition to the existing knowledge, right? It is basically there is a gap here and there is a problem here there with that thing, and you are going to make that problem less or make it completely remove and make life easy, right? It may be in the form of cost, it may be form of lifetime stability, lifetime like the guarantee, warranty, all these things. You see, you maybe reduce the size. You see, this is also a problem, thickness. So if you have thick material, so you have more cost. These all are problems, yeah, right? Also, give credits to those who created that platform for you. Mean if somebody invents something, you have to give credit, right? So that is how you have to cite relevant paper, old paper and latest paper. As I explained previously, that if you are working on some field which start from 1980 and now this is 2023, so you have to cite the paper from 1980, from 1982, from 1984, from 1990, from 2000, and also from 2020. Like these are, so you have to cite latest work as well as the old work, right? And not only cite but critically evaluate those papers. Critically evaluate. You see, critically, very deeply look what they did and what they have not done, and you are going to do that now. You see here, and you have to also provide some new design or or addition to the old model or some conceptual framework. You see here a model research. You see here, and also mention that your proposed study will do a lot of substantial contribution to the existing literature. This means that you will fill that gap, right? Now, problem statement is one of the most important factor in research proposal, right? And your thesis as well. Look how beautifully I written this. Look, despite, this is not good, right? Despite more than 2 decades of research on this device, dye-sensitized solar cell, the efficiency of the device is 14%, is far lower than the conventional silicon solar cell, which is 25%. In the market, silicon solar cell is giving its devices with efficiency 20%, and the field which I am going to work is only 14%. This means this is a problem. Nobody is going to take this. But why I'm still working here, the rationale one, the why part. Why I'm working? Because there is some good thing here. This is why, right? And this involves because this low efficiency is due to some low mobility material, etc. And there's also another issue, the lifetime. You see here, the lifetime of this device is less. And why lifetime is less? Due to the presence of liquid electrolyte here. You see here, because silicon solar cell give 25 years warranty here. And the device which I'm working is degraded in 1 day, right? So this is a problem. These are all problems here, you see, the nice statement. Now hypothesis. I'm giving some solutions. The solution is I am giving some solutions, some assumptions that if we do this, we can get some higher efficiency. Look, implying perovskite thin layer absorber will help increasing open circuit voltage with efficiency greater than 15%. You see here, I'm just giving some hypothesis, and will also result in solid state devices. Solid state means which do not use liquid electrolyte. So liquid electrolyte creates stability problem. So if you use solid state, so it will have long-term stability here. You see here, this is such a good hypothesis. This hypothesis is somehow, to me, solution. Yes, if you agree or not, you give solution. These are questions you do by yourself. Objectives are very, very important. Here you see here you have to start this to synthesize, to imply, mean to use, see, to study, to establish. This means that you set these objectives to solve this problem. right? You set these objectives. Now, how you are going to achieve these objectives? Through methods. Let me give you an example. You want to reach the top of the building. Top of the building. Let's suppose there is a problem here, and there is some problem in the top of the building, right? You want to reach there, and that is your objective. Now you have to go there. So there are many ways to go there. So you can use many methods, but I will go through elevator. That is your method. You will use stairs. That is your method. So you are achieving your objective through one method, another method, another method, another method, another method. Right? This is how you are using methods here. You see here? These are methods. So you have to design your experiments, type of instruments, and give complete procedure that how you are going to complete the studies. So I just take it quickly that you have to choose materials, what kind of material you are using. So this is sub-material core shell structure, and then how you are going to synthesize the material. So you're using some electrospinning technique, you are going to do some survey, so questionnaire or something, right? So we use this technique. Then once we made material, so we have to characterize, we have to test it whether this is our desired material or not, whether it is spherical in shape, whether it is cubic, whether it is wires, whether it is tubes. But so we have to do some characterization, right? Then we have to make a device, and that is a device fabrication and testing. So there we have to also use again characterize the device by using some measurements, right? As I mentioned that if you have results, mention here and discuss it. If you do not have, so learn it. Now let's go to Gantt chart, work plan. It's very important, as I mentioned here. So my PhD was basically 3 years. You see here from 13 to 16. So people divide this in months, weeks. I divide in months here nicely. I start from June, July, August, September, October, November, December, March, May again, June. You see here. So I divide in 12 months. Here again 12 months, right? Activities here, my activities. These bars shows basically achieved here. You see here. This means that look, I just give 3 months for my proposal refining and concept clearance. You see here. This was one my milestone here. So I achieve in 3 months. Then I start literature review. I start literature review from the beginning and it going to up to 2 years. You see here, this is very important. Why literature review is important? Because when you are doing something, so you have to read other people's work as well, that what other people are doing basically. And here, this star basically means here publication. So I am writing in my plane and telling my plane that I will publish my review here, one review here, because I am reading literature review, so I don't publish my review article here. You see here? And similarly, I start synthesis here, and I also again start synthesis here. When I make synthesis, then I make devices, and from making devices, I have to publish 2 articles here. This star again. You see here? Then I synthesize. During that time, I start some another synthesis here. You see here? And from that, I also publish 2 articles. But these 2 articles are now in progress here. You see this blue shows progress. And my thesis writing is also in progress. I start almost thesis writing thesis after almost 2 years time. You see here? So this is what I said that if you look into my Gantt chart here, so this was a very late time here. I almost complete everything. See here, I almost complete everything. This green shows complete. If you look here to this Gantt chart, is also very interesting. So they basically first year plan, second year plan, third year plan. They divide into 3 months, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 1 year. You see here. So this is my work plan here, and this I divide into stages here. This is also very interesting Gantt chart. Okay, this is all about research proposal, and I hope you will learn something.